Okay, live chat. Yeah, back on the workbench again, working on, well, trays, particular custom built trays made of foam core. What I've done here is I basically cut out all the pieces I need. Uh, this here is the base, and then these will make up the sides. If I just show you here, obviously this is for the shorter sides, and then this will be for the longer sides. And pretty much just trying to get these built. I do have, I'll show you guys here, I got another one. Built this Friday night or maybe Thursday night. I don't know. This is basically what I'm trying to build, is this right here. I've made these trays, what is it, 15 by 11 and a quarter, I think. The reason I've done this is because of what I have planned. I think if I can just set this up here. Okay, I guess these are actually 14 by 11 and a half, or 11 and a quarter, I mean. And they're, I think, 2.5 inches tall. Now, about 2 3/4 by the time you add the base. Basically, when I was designing these, what I wanted to do was I wanted them to fit the largest locomotive I have, which I believe is the GG1 here. I also had Captain Rolls' Mallard here. I even tried that because I know that's a large loco. Just wanted to use that to, basically if that'll fit, it'll fit everything else. But then height-wise, the GG1 with the pantographs, it'll fit in here. So obviously I wanted it to be that high. And then in terms of width, well, locomotives are pretty much the same width in every case. So I wasn't too concerned about that. But the way this is, it'll fit the GG1. It'll fit 2 of the switcher units, which I don't have in here at the moment. It'll fit 2 hopper cars, and it'll also fit a Pullman, which I've got those packed away, so I don't really want to dig them out just for that. Might do so later here. But yeah, gonna go ahead and start assembling. And one thing that kind of sucks with this foam core is it is warped. So I'm going to have to try to basically straighten it at the same time I'm putting everything together. In a way, it doesn't need to be 100% perfect because, well, it's not really going to matter if it looks pretty or not. It just needs to be put together well and hold together so that I can transport models, basically. I'm going to pull up a seat here and get to work, I guess. To put things together, I'm going to be using multi-purpose glue. Won't mention any brand names since there's people think I'm sponsored, even though I'm not. But hello to everyone that's watching right now. I apologize if I've been a little behind on responding to your comments. But I suppose, yeah, I'm going to have to try to push that. I may actually have to clamp these. I really don't know. The first one didn't go together too bad, and I mean that even had warping to it. I mean, you can even see this base isn't exactly perfect either. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's really, as long as it's can transport stuff safely. But I may end up having to clamp this. I guess it just depends. I do have clamps though. Hello to Ricardo. I guess things are going all right. I probably put some glue on here. Leaving my knives laying around opened. And I'm going to be rather generous with the glue on this. I can always go back and clean things up a little bit afterwards. But I do want to try and use enough that everything is going to hold. I don't know what would be best suited for this. I mean, this it's a strong bonding glue. And I don't know how interesting this is to watch. Correction, synth sodas. This is actually foam core. I suppose you could use styrene as well for this, but I mean, I don't know. Just went with foam core. I should mention, just so everyone's aware, I should mention this is not my own design. I actually got this from one of the club members. Made some of these before, and basically just took foam core and made trays out of it. Quite inexpensive to do this as well. I bought, what was the size of this? Well, they have it in centimeters, and I'll have to look real quick. Just give me a second here, folks. I'm going to say this might have been like a 36-inch by 36-inch by 36-inch piece of foam core. And what was it? Like $10 for that piece. And it'll make about 3 of these trays. That could be over some. I don't know if I can. No, I think that might be where that's going to stay. But yeah, $10 for that. And like I said, it'll make about 3 trays. And then I still need to get the storage tote, which is going to hold these pieces. But that there's about another $10. And I don't know how much bubble wrap runs. But basically, there will be bubble wrap that'll go into the trays in the slots there, and that'll give padding to everything. But I think, I mean, if you just want to, throw a number out there, let's just say for the sake of arguing, $10 for the piece of foam core, which makes 3 trays, $10 for the storage tote, and then $10 for the bubble wrap. That's what, $30. It's not a bad price to store models and such. And I mean, if I bring in Daisy here, plenty of clearance there to store this. In this case, I could actually put like Daisy in here and, say a little bit of cushioning. I could even throw in another piece of rolling stock behind her there, and both of those will fit in here just fine. What is it? The tray itself's like 14 inches, but the inside is maybe, say 13 and a half, possibly. And like I said, it'll accommodate the bigger locos very well. Okay, so I think that's in place. Now I can grab one of these sides. And I'm probably going to have to clamp this down because this is uneven. I think you can even see there's a bit of a gap right there. So, but this does flatten out and what have you once you start adding stuff to it. I had a little whoopsie there. This one end piece, I cut it because I cut all this last night there. This one end piece was actually too short. If I show you here, you'll see it's about a 1/4 inch shorter than it should have been. So I ended up having to cut another one of these. I've been really trying to be careful cutting this stuff out because, I want to have as less waste as possible. Like, I've got all these pieces, which were basically offcuts from these bottoms. Didn't need them to be this big. But then there's another piece there. But something I am a little disappointed about is these here. These are offcuts from the ends of these, which if I'd have been more selective on what I was cutting, I definitely could have got one of these shorter ends or even a longer end if I hadn't, cut these like I did. I don't know. I might find uses for the smaller stuff, so might not be a total loss, but I don't want that piece. That's a reject. Definitely something to keep in mind when you're doing projects like this. Try to make sure you know what you're doing and don't waste more material than you have to. Either way, I am going to have to go buy another big sheet of foam core to make the other 3 trays, because what I'm doing, the tote I'm getting should hold 3 of these trays. And to basically put that into perspective, something that size should hold, about 30 locomotives, 30 big tender locomotives if you wanted to. And I'd say, 60 hopper cars. But big thing, like my models and such, is I used to just carefully lay everything in a box and, paper towel for padding, carry it that way. Definitely not ideal, but I can't say I had any problems with models getting damaged that way. And then there for a while, I was putting stuff in small cardboard tray. Well, I guess it's out of shot, but there's a small cardboard tray down there I had. Same deal. And then I just got glue on me. A little bit of padding, paper towel padding, what have you. But again, not an ideal solution. And then one of the club members was showing these off one time there. And I thought to myself, it's like, that'd be great for, transporting my stuff. So I went back and forth with him there, got some information, and yeah, basically here building trays of my own now. That's what I should give you guys his YouTube to check out, which I will here in a second as soon as I close up that gap. Wish I had more of these clamps. What is... Now there's a bit of a gap there, it looks like. Well, if I got 2 clamps, I might as well use them. And there's another gap opening up there. I'm going to have to readjust these clamps because they're pulling stuff in where I don't want them to. Yeah, I wish I had more of those because I'm not liking big gap on this end here. I suppose while that's doing its thing, give me 1 second here. I'll look up the user. There we are. Here's the guy, Chris Lasher 9811. Well worth checking out if you get the chance. Got some great content on here. He also did some videos basically showing some of his projects. What? Well, that's in the fail reel. Don't worry, it's still intact. Nothing fell apart. Although I'm still not happy with the those joins. I guess put it back up on the workbench here. And I dropped one of my clamps. Very nice. Very nice indeed. There we go. Another thing, at least the tray was empty. Didn't have any trains on it. Okay, that's really not looking too bad. I'd really like these gaps to be closed up a little nicer than they are. I'm surprised nobody's commenting on my little oopsie back there. I mean, you guys can make fun of me. I don't care. At the end of the day, I know everyone likes me, or mostly everyone likes me. Like I keep saying all the time, you have a problem, you can just leave. This is my channel. I mean, you'd be surprised the number of people that don't like me and yet they still watch my channel. Never really understood that. You know, you say about you don't like me, you don't have any time for me, yet you apparently care enough to keep stalking my channel to see what I'm up to. Found out a few cases where that's been going on. You just sit there asking why. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that sit for a little while. Well, not a long time, but, you know, let it sit for a little bit. And see how that works. I don't think it's too bad if I just grab straight edge here. That'll show how level it all is. That's really not bad at all. Seems relatively straight. And I lost the clamp again. I think my biggest problem is I got butterfingers right now. Can't hold on to nothing. There we go. I don't really have these clamps on here that tight because I don't want to crush in the foam core. I mean, I guess I could always, if I wanted to, go back on the insides here and reinforce them with some more glue. I'm not really sure it's necessary at this time, but, you know, I don't want these falling apart either. Suppose I'm ready for this next side. See how this is going to fit in place. Of course, this thing is warped. I believe it's like everything will go together all right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something to set under this. Right there might be something. Now, it's not perfect, but it'll work. Let's just go in there like that. I mean, looking at it, I'm kind of thinking I want to put one of those clamps on here. Try to pull this bottom up some. So, of course, I've got those already in use there. I guess the sides are kind of the hardest because once you get those in, the dividers, they go in a lot easier because obviously everything's flat and flush and no problems there. Oh, cool. I just got to look in here. Apparently, Chris uploaded about 2 months ago. I know I talked to him there. He said he was going to see about getting back to uploading again. But yeah, like I said, well worth checking out his channel. You get the chance. That's Lasher 9811. If you want to check him out. Dried glue on my fingers. Oh, there, that clamp came off again. See if I really need these. So they seem to be going together. They seem to be staying together. Put that back down there so it's out of the way. I'm going to be daring and remove them. Yeah, because that other one that I built, it was also slightly warped to begin with, but it straightened out there. Bonds most porous, such as paper, cloth, semi-porous materials such as wood and pottery. Use on clean surface. Use damp cloth when it dries. Not for plastics, bare metal, submerged or heated surfaces. Yeah, so it seems like it's appropriate to use this stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely gaps and such here, but all things considered, I don't think it's too bad. I say I got glue drying on my fingers here. I suppose should be good to go on putting this next part in. So, same deal as before. Line everything up and put this in place. And try to keep everything straight in the process. I need a little bit of glue there. Come on. And then I want to do this. Probably use way too much glue, but one of those deals, you can always clean it off. Oh. I'm going to grab a toothpick for that. Pitch that. And glue it in place, I guess. Come on. Ah, damn it. Yeah, like I said, the foam core slightly warped. It's not really too much of an issue, but definitely an inconvenience. Possibly when I was looking for some, I should have got something better, but unfortunately limited selection where I went. Trying to get this second clamp on here. Now I guess see how straight or not straight that is. Not very straight at all. Try that again. Okay, that's looking better. Maybe something I can do to try to assist this is take another one of these and just temporarily put it in here. Just for now, and I'll glue that in place here later. It's coming together slowly. Been at this for half hour. I mean, another thing with these, I wouldn't bother personally. I mean, if you really wanted to, you get these put together, you could actually paint them. I just think they're fine as is. But yeah, just down beside me here, I've got 3 more sheets that I can probably get another tray. Try to get it in shot. I got this one right here. This is what I use for the bottoms. Of course, I've got to cut a little bit off the side here, but I can get 2 bottoms out of this. And for this tray, the ends actually came from what was left over from this other piece as well. And then I've got another piece down here that I can use to get the long sides. And that's going to leave me basically with enough for 1 more bottom. And I can make a couple ends probably, but I won't be able to make any more of these sides, the longer sides. So I'll have to make a trip back to the store at some point and get more of this stuff, which I think at that rate I should have enough to make 3 more trays. Probably have a little bit extra. Who knows? I might even have enough to make not a 4th tray. But I mean, I guess it just depends. At this time, I know I definitely need 6 of these. So or if they give you a says here clamp for 35 minutes. I mean, really, that doesn't look bad for that side, though. I don't know how interesting this is. I mean, I guess in a way it's kind of like watching paint dry. That was a one I messed up on, the dang knife. The blade wandered. But it doesn't matter because just put it in the middle or something and you won't see it. Hang on a second, I'm just responding to message here. Looking into getting some hopper cars from the local hobby shop. So, messaged them, I think it was last week. Messaged them there about those, and here a guy come to find out he had quite a few of them in stock. So, basically, what I'm looking for is cars like these. These ones have actually been custom weathered by a person I bought them from, but I'd like to get some more of them. I've actually got my eye on quite a bit of stock like that, but I need to need to get some funds ahead for a start. Yeah, I'm sure it's quite interesting for you guys to message back and forth with someone else. I'm just curious if I take this other piece Turn that around. Huh. Well, the deal is that one seems shorter. I don't know why. Y'all should be the same size. Maybe this one. I don't know why that one seems to fit nicer. Again, nothing's got to be 100% perfect. I just want everything to stay together is the biggest thing. I mean, that should... I'm going to say that should go in there and stay in place as is. I don't think it needs any clamping. So go ahead and do that. That's what on the topic of those hopper cars there. And I just got glue on the microphone. Isn't that lovely? I need to get a new windbreak or whatever. Go on that. Unfortunately, starting to show its age. And I get glue where I don't want it. Making quite a mess. It's all right. You can clean it up. Okay. I believe that's everything in place. Try to get these ends lined up. Not liking this one side here, so I'm gonna put some glue in these joins. Perfection is not a big thing on this. Like I said, biggest deal is these need to be put together to where they're going to stay together. Try to clean some of this excess off. That doesn't need to be there. And grab some more paper towel. And that's basically all the sides done. That just leaves what, four divides up, yeah, 4 divides that go inside the tray. Might be about time I can take those clamps off. What's the inside of the box looking like? Bit of glue in around those corners, but I'm not really going to care too much because as long as it works. So yeah, like I said, these pieces, which I might actually have to trim a little bit off of, but they'll just slide down. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim these a little bit. They'll just slide down in here. And the compartments should be 2 inches wide. That'll allow you to, put your locos in there and such. But yeah, this is nice because, like, with these switchers I got, I could put both these in one of these trays. I can put them plus 8 hopper cars, which, that'd be a decent train. Or I could put my GG1 in here with 4 Pullmans. And I guess I could show you guys, since I do have them. Set that there for now. Yeah, there's one of my Pullmans. And you can see there's plenty of room for one of those, a little bit extra. One thing that is disappointing is, you kind of got a little bit of unused space with these. If I was to put one of these Pullmans in here, I could probably go in and put a locomotive at the ends here. But being your divide's going to be, the whole way back, that space isn't really going to be utilized. Granted, I could reformat these trays to, do that, but it's like, then what if I'm not putting Pullmans in here? Unfortunately, there's just some things that can't be helped. I just want these trays to all be the same and, basically have the same purpose. So even if space is not utilized, well, so be it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I'm thinking should be about able to take these clamps off. I mean, I guess I was kind of wondering there how well hot glue would work on these to hold them together. I know definitely didn't want to use super glue. Now there is a little bit of a twist in the tray right now, but it'll straighten out without too much trouble. I mean, that's basically it. You know, pretty much put together. Just got to put the divides in now. And like I said, these divides actually got to be cleaned up some. Yeah, that'll all straighten out without too much trouble. But like I said, these I believe got to be that one fit in just perfectly. No problems there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to mark 2 inches on the inside of this. Come on. Two inches there. Two inches there. And I guess check this divide one more time, make sure it's going to work. Let's All right. That should be ready to put in place. So, same deal as before. Put some glue on it. All right. Now, the objective here is to try to get this in place without making a mess of things. And chances are I'm not going to do that because, well, that's just how I work. in too far. Come on, line up on the mark. And then double check the top here, make sure this is 2 inches. All right. That's in place. So I guess I can go ahead and put the next one in. Oh, the man of the hour showed up, folks. Now, when you say 2-inch spacer, I'm guessing you mean something at the end, basically. For example, this Pullman car rattles around in there. It's like something at the back, basically, to hold that in. Or I might be seeing that all wrong. And I got glue on me again. Nice. Can't say I've really had any problems with that. I mean, granted, I've only built one, but it seems to be working just fine with what I'm doing here. Wondering if I just find. Yeah, I was looking at that wrong, so. That explains pretty much. Make a mark there. And another one there. Then a jig might not be a bad idea either. Make a big mess. I don't know how long it took to build the first one. I'm going to say probably been at this good part of an hour. Then again, that was with these pieces pre-cut and ready to go. Like I was saying there, basically did all that last night. I think that's pretty good. Come on. Spacer would probably be the better option, then you're not trying to line up on the marks all the time. Like I said, all things considered, doesn't have to be that precise. 2 inches there. Another 2 inches there. When it comes to bubble wrap, I don't know. I was just gonna cut the bubble wrap basically the length of the compartment, but I guess really it would make more sense to cut bubble wrap for cars, for a single car, because it probably doesn't make much sense if you're going to have, a couple hoppers basically. Because the bubble wrap's also going to act basically as a way to lift the car out of there. But I could definitely see it would probably make more sense to make the wrap for each car. There's about a quarter-inch clearance on each side, basically, to put the padding in. That leaves 2 more dividers to go in place. I'm getting glue all over the workbench. Yeah, I'm going to have to get bubble wrap still because I don't have any here. Well, what I have is basically from eBay purchases, and everything's too short. What are we looking at? Almost 9:30. Draft, what do you mean? Oh, let's see. What else? Finish getting these in place and probably call it a night at that. Must have done something differently because that first tray, I actually had to trim these a little bit. All these seem to be going in place without too much trouble. How about this last one? That's weird. It'll work, but yeah, I don't fully understand what the deal is with that. I suppose I probably could get set up to put the next one in place. There's actually... Okay, that one wasn't sitting 100% correct. Got it now. I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier. Make another mark. There we go. All right. Second to last one. Getting there slowly. Just taking a while. And I'm getting glue all over the place again. Tell you what, you guys aren't being very lively right now. Everyone seems to always want to talk when I'm getting ready to call it quits. I remember me and NZR doing their, what was that, this year, I think it was? We were doing the live chat, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're getting ready to pack it up for the evening, and that's when people start showing up wanting to talk. Like, geez, where were you guys like an hour ago? I mean, really, I probably should get back into doing basically scheduled streams. That way, more people are aware of what's going on. More people can show up. Little bit of notice, basically. Be very helpful. All right, that's got to move in some. And probably the same deal down here. I see. I see what's going on. That's in place. Hello, David. What's going on with you? Yeah, Chris. Thursday, I should be able to make it this time. Would have liked to have gone last week, but unfortunately, just so much to do and not enough time to do it. Then had to make 2 trips southeast this last 3 days. That was funny. There, had a friend down in, well, not really down anywhere, but basically my neighbor there. He's in the business of hauling RVs back from Indiana and other places. I was down New Holland area yesterday there. He messaged me. Told him where I was at. Well, turns out he was just north of me up in, just above New Holland there. He was on his way to Maryland. It's like, how about that? Okay, I don't like how that's sitting. E2 Engine LBSC, is he a YouTuber? Or are we talking about the E2 locomotive, basically? I get this last piece glued in. Want that to go on the bottom. That's the one where the blade wandered. So put it where it's not going to be seen. Yeah, I know the E2s. Basically the class of the little blue hero everyone's come to know and love. Okay, I got a bit of a problem. I can't get down in there with my ruler to mark 2 inches. So I got to find something that is 2 inches now. How long is this thing? 2.5. I'm going to cut it. Yeah. I know the E2s were basically extinct. America wasn't much different when it came to cutting up their steam locomotives. That's what Pennsylvania K4, one of my favorite classes. There's only 2 of those left in the States. Kind of feel like really there's only one. There's another one, but it's been in pieces, I think, for the last 20 years now. Even though you got one that still survives, it's not in much better condition. Been left to sit out in the elements. Okay, that'll work. Cheap spacer. Since I can't get my ruler down in there, just use that. Two-inch compartments. I get this last divided in place. Another class I quite like is the Russian decapod. Got a few of those here in the States. Only 2 that are still in operational condition. I don't know if I really got a favorite diesel locomotive out there. Quite fond of the Dash 9s, but I don't know if I'd really say they're my favorite. I'd say when it comes to electric, definitely have to be the GG1. Again, going back to the Pennsylvania Railroad here. I think that was my great-grandfather actually worked for Baltimore and Ohio back in the day. Actually, I had railroaders on both sides of my family. Okay, that should be ready to put in place. And try to figure out exactly what I'm doing here. All right. And I moved it. Good job. Okay, I believe that is... What's the gap? Oh, boy. Okay, I must have done something wrong because this one compartment here is not, it's just shy of 2 inches. How bad? I still get a piece of rolling stock in there with padding, but why is it anytime I do something, it never works? Like I said, getting glue all over the workbench. So, yeah, unfortunately, that one compartment's going to be a little smaller. The other ones, the other tray, I think everything went together fine. But yeah, this one here, the one side of it is unfortunately not the same. Bit of a bummer on that. I don't know what I did there. I'm going to say somewhere something's wrong because this one compartment's just shy of 2 inches. But yeah, I mean, overall though, that's basically it. Let the glue dry on that. Hopefully I used enough to hold it together so it won't come apart. And then like I was showing you guys earlier there, if we just get down here and grab it, which I'm spilling a bunch of stuff under the bench right now. Drop the girlfriend's Doritos. She'll appreciate that. Yeah, this was the one I built last night, or well, a couple nights ago now, I guess. But yeah, you can see it'll hold the GG1. There's my Dash 8. It'll hold that just fine. And then like right here, I've got 2 hopper cars. And like I showed before, I'll just pull the SD60 out here. Drop Pullman in. And it'll fit those just fine. Give me a second here. I'll run and get some bubble wrap. So this is mainly just for demonstration purposes. But you see the bubble wrap goes in there like that. Then I can take locomotive, set it down in there like that. I mean, granted, you probably want to put a whole wrap around it, but you know, it'll basically hold everything. A little bit of padding is good to have. And then if you really wanted to, which this piece is a little too short, but you could basically grab the bubble wrap and you can see you can pull the unit out, which is really what I want, because you get units like the GG1, you can't just stick your fingers down in there and pull it out. You got the bubble wrap, it acts more as a cradle. See, like, for example, I can take this car, drop it down in there, and you know, say you just want to fold those over like that, get where you're going, you want to take this out, you can just lift the whole thing out like that. But yeah, telling me there with his setup, he was saying about you can basically pack up, take out 50 car train in less than no time. But yeah, just gonna put that back. Then, like I was saying earlier with my switcher units, got one right here. Set it down in. I mean, this is another reason to use the bubble wrap, is it's really not, can't really grab a hold of those units either. These ones I got to pick up by the fuel tanks, because if you pick them up by the grab handles, you knock the paint off. But just carefully set it down in there. You see it'll hold 2 of those in a compartment. But yeah, like in this case, like I said, I could either have the GG1 and 4 cars, 4 Pullmans in here, or I could have these 2 switchers and 8 of these hopper cars. So, you know, depending on what your preference is, one of these trays will basically hold an entire train, at least for what I've done. Like I said before, the ones I'm building are, 14 by 11 and a quarter, which, you know, the storage tote I'm using, I can basically take these 2 trays, set it beside each other, then I can stack 3 more trays on, or 2 more trays on top of each, because these are made to be stackable as well. And of course, you got plenty of clearance that you're not going to knock anything off of these. The GG1 seems to be the tallest unit I have here, basically with the pantographs down. But yeah, and then when this dries, I can go ahead and put stuff in this as well. But I definitely need to see about getting a storage tote to put everything in. But yeah, well, I mean, I'm not really sure what else I can say here. But yeah, so that's nice. Got another one of these made. And between what foam core I got left here, I do have enough to make at least one more of these trays with what I have. Probably not this weekend, but next weekend. Might have some time to get some more foam core, and I can build the rest of the trays I need. Because like I said, I want to make 6 of these, and I want to put them in a storage container that will allow easy transport and stuff. Now, granted, I don't know what it's going to be like to have all these filled and try to transport stuff. Another thing I'll do here, I'll set the SD60 out, and I can bring in Great Western City class. And that'll fit in there fine as well. Doesn't matter if it's American or British. Although in the case of this, being this locomotive short like it is, I definitely could go in and add something behind it. High rail bus. That's possibly a little too big. Cement car. Then you could probably take a little bit of bubble wrap and, you know, stuff down in there between those 2 models so don't get damaged. But I don't know if there's much more I could say about all this. Just set this back over here. And that's what I'm thinking. Oh, this might be a little too short to put 2 of these F units in. But yeah, the big thing for me when I was designing these trays is I know I wanted big enough that they could store the GG1. Also larger tender locomotives. I don't really have, you know, famous last words of everyone. I don't really have any intentions to get like really big locomotives, but you know, I do want to get some tender locomotives at some point. Just not, nothing majorly size. But, yeah, not really sure what else to say on this. Bit of time, though, to cut the pieces out, put them together. I mean, like I said, this one here, built this probably a few nights ago now, and turned out pretty decent, I think. As long as it doesn't fall apart, that's really all I care about. I think everything's pretty much intact. But I don't know. Piece of foam core I got here was like, as I mentioned earlier, $10 for that, and easily makes 3 trays, at least in the sizes that I want. Then you've got probably another $10 for the storage container I want to get to put these in. And for, just for the sake of arguing, let's say a roll of bubble wrap is another $10 there. So $30, and you can store 30 locomotives if you wanted to. But yeah, overall, I don't think it's a bad deal. Definitely better than leaving them set out. And my big thing too is the way I have stuff right now. It just sits out on a shelf, and I mean, you can even see some of the stuff is dusty from that. But if it's in these in a storage container, I'm not gonna have to worry about it. Now, granted, I might want to see if I can find a storage container that would just hold one of these trays. The dimensions of one of these trays, and maybe holds 2 or 3 of them. That way, if I don't want to take a whole bunch of stuff along somewhere. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm quite satisfied with what I got here. But I suppose it's been going on for 1.5 hours. Probably should see about wrapping things up before too much longer. Yeah, I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock where I'm at. Some of you guys who are probably on the western side of the country, it's not as late. Yeah, like I said, that compartment there, it's just shy of 2 inches. I mean, it'll still work, but yeah, I'm not going to stress over it. So, yeah, I'm going to head off here in another few minutes. Any last questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat before I head off here. Do I have anything else I can show you guys or talk about? Just looking around here, see what I got. I mean, this would be another nice thing about getting some of these trays made for storage. Like, I've got hopper cars here, and they just sit in one of these things, and it's not really perfect. Yeah, everything's just laid out. Stuff gets knocked around. Model railroader level expert. Look at that. Look. Yes, I customized this. Look at that. That is like just so fine. Look at how fine that is painted on there. Yep. Looks professional grade, doesn't it? If the camera will focus. Actually, now that I look at it, I think those are actually paper. Those are paper letters that I painted. I stuck them on, then I painted them. I don't even know why I still have this. Then what do we got here? Basically, I don't know how much a pair of KD couplers runs you these days, but I'd say the coupler's worth more than the car. That's just one of them lifelike hoppers. Younger years, I wanted one of these, so I painted this one up, and well, there you go. Quite like these ones. These are Bowser kits. Can't find them anywhere, though. If anyone knows where I can pick up some of these, let me know down in the chat. I tried bidding, found one of these in auction last night on eBay, tried bidding on it, and last second the thing went from $8 to over $20, and it got away from me. Since I got this, I'm going to store these away real quick. Like I said, this is not ideal, which is why I definitely want to get these trays done. There's another lifelike piece of rolling stock. Quite like that one, actually. Not going to knock it too much. Got to get some coal loads made. Yeah, this is just a cardboard tray I was using to transport stuff. A little bit of paper towel for padding. But can definitely transport a lot more in this than I could in that. But I suppose I'm going to head off for the night. Any of you guys want to chit-chat further, either send me a message or pop into the Discord server. I'll probably be hanging around here for, well, another hour or so. So you guys can chat with me then. Yeah, like I said, this is the tray just got done building tonight. Quite impressed with that. Like I said, modeler level expert. Looks like a 5-year-old did it. But yeah, like I said, going to be heading off. You guys want to chat more, send me a message or join the server, what have you. I'll be around. But anyways, chat with you guys whenever I'm on again. New video coming up later this week as well. Keep a watch out for that. And that's going to be it.